Welcome, everyone. This is my second video on the topic of vibe prompting. And for those of you who missed my first video, vibe prompting is a play on words. Andre Karpathy had posted about how he does what is known as vibe coding, which is basically, you kind of talk with the LLM and it generates code. And so you kind of move from this traditional coding to you just feel you're having this conversation, go back and forth. And that's exactly how I do a lot of my prompting when I'm building agents. And so my first video talked about how I do this and how I use what I call vibe prompting to build agents. Now, the second video is going to talk about how I use vibe prompting to actually debug my agents. So for those of you who've built agents, you know that, the first time you build it, it never really works. There's a lot of debugging that needs to happen to get it to work. And so for those of you who remember, this is my agent to go analyze CSV files. So you should be able to upload any CSV file and it should be able to go figure out what the data in the CSV file is, ask you clarifying questions, then figure out what kind of analysis it should do, ask you questions on that, and then give you an output. And so that's the agent over here. All the prompts here, as you look at it, were built using the LLM and ChatGPT by just having conversations with it and then placed in over here. So this video is now talking about now that I've built the agent and I go run it, how do I now debug this? Because debugging is where I feel that vibe prompting really starts adding a lot more value. So here is when I run this agent, upload the CSV file you want analyzed, comes back and it says, hey, this is what I found in the data. And then I'd like to make these kind of changes. So I say, yes, I want to make. So this is clarifying question. Don't worry about the formatting. I'll kind of work on that. That's kind of what I fixed last. For now, I'm just trying to get the functionality going. And then it then comes back and says that, about the data set, uh, it's got blah, blah, blah. And then it wants to know, like, these are some of the clarifying questions. And, I've realized that I should probably put this in a different section. So it's not all looped together with like what it found out and what the clarifying questions are. So again, I'll have to tweak that prompt a little, tweak the output a little, but it's asking what's the primary goal, any specific calculations, would you prefer a breakdown, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just saying use your judgment. I'm just being lazy about it and saying do what you need to do. And then it came back with this analysis. So before we go to the analysis, let's look at what the CSV file looks like. And so this is my insurance P&L CSV that I uploaded, which basically, when you look at it, has category of information, fee income, net investment income by year. And I'm asking it to analyze this. And as you can see here, when I look at this, there's an executive summary, which talks not about the analysis, but about how the data has been cleaned, talks more about data cleaning, talks about overview, trend. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is not what I expected. And this often happens. Like, you put everything in and then you run it and then you realize that, wow, this is way off. And then you look at the detailed analysis, there's nothing there. So, two things. One is you immediately assume that there's something wrong in the prompt. But what I've noticed, anytime I get an output which is way off from what I expect, usually it has nothing to do with the prompt. It's got to do with the input that actually comes in. And so what I mean by that is this is the last prompt which generates the output. It's supposed to take two things, a clean CSV file and the clarifying responses that I provided to use to go generate the output. Obviously, it seems like when it ran, it could not find the CSV file because there's really no data here, which is the only explanation. Now in Agent AI, I can go to the dev console and I can now start doing some debugging. And so let's say I look at my context and if I look at the out cleaned CSV, and you will notice that the content found in the CSV file, values, blah, 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 this is not a CSV file. So I can look at this very quickly and I can look at it. And if this is what I'm going to now provide to my agent, to my action step in the agent here to basically say, so you'll notice here, I have all my different prompts and I'm basically saying, you've been provided with blah, 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 clean formatted CSV file. And then if I go down here and I look at what the provided CSV file looks like based on the clarifications, this is it. So the step where it went wrong was the step that actually generated the CSV file. So now I need to figure out what that step is. And so if I go here, this is the step. You are an agent. You have been provided with a CSV file containing tabular data. Responses to the prior questions are this. Apply the clarification, rename it, blah, blah, blah. And this is where the CSV file is. And it could not do that. So this is where the problem lies. And so now I need to figure out how can I go fix this. And so what I will do in this particular case is I am going to actually take, go back to my prompt, and I'm going to say, I'm going to take a few things. So this is this, right? So I'll now go to ChatGPT. Let's open another window, and I'm going to put that there. So you are an agent, blah, 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 CSV file, uh, containing tabular data. I'll say C attached, and then responses. So I'm going to say, and I'm going to say responses to clarifying questions. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to see what was the responses to my clarifying question is basically in here. I'll go look at data clarification. So this is what I had said. So I'm going to copy that over. So you'll notice I'm just kind of replacing all the pieces which had variables with the actual value. Then I'm going to go add here, upload from computer. And I'm going to go to my downloads, find my insurance CSV file. And so now it's got, this is basically the prompt, which did not generate my cleaned up CSV file. And now that's the one I need to fix. And so you're now noticing how the way I'm debugging this is I'm taking the prompt, putting all the input variables, and then running it. And now let's see what it comes back with. So it's analyzing. And if the output from this looks good, like I do get a CSV file, then it's great. Then I need to go look at Agent AI and figure out what's going wrong over there. Maybe, the CSV file didn't go as the right input. But oftentimes when I have challenges, so let's see, send clean, so actually this looks pretty good. Um, Categories are there. It put category. It kind of made sure if there were zero values, it kind of put a zero over there. So it did the right thing. So what this is telling me now is that the prompt is not wrong. So now I have to go back to Agent AI and look at it and say, what am I passing? I'm passing the CSV file. I'm passing the clarifying responses. And it is supposed to return an out underscore clean CSV. So let's now go back to the debug and look at that step in the debugger where I am saying you have been provided with a CSV file and responses to the clarifying question. Convert, and so this is the clarifying question. This is the CSV file, and this is the output that it's giving me. Based on the clarifications, moving currency symbols, converting numbers. And so it looks like it actually is not able to load the CSV file. And so this can be something where I now need to figure out how is Agent AI handling this. And now I'm back into Agent AI, but I'll have to look at, so what I can do is the next thing I'll do is I'm just going to take this and I'm going to give this response and I'm going to take all of it and paste this into ChatGPT. And I'm going to say, I have a prompt and the response is not what I expected. What is going on? So now you're noticing that like I am at a bit of a loss. I don't know. I think I'm passing all the right thing. Let's see what it does. So I'm now using ChatGPT, intent to blah, blah, blah. Thing seems to be generic explanation. That's exactly what it is. Here's why this might be happening. It's providing an explanation performing the task. File processing step might be missing. Actually not process the CSV, rather infer data patterns. May not have direct access to the file. So that could be another one. Output with, out clean CSV, but that I know is not the issue. How to fix it? explicitly instruct the AI to process the file. So now you notice it generated a new prompt, and now I'm going to put this back in, and then I go back and forth. So again, without going into too much detail, it's not like this debugging happens like quickly and it's going to solve the problem immediately, but there is this process that I need to go back and forth with. But you can see, like, this is the magic. I just dump this stuff in and I'm like, hey, it didn't give me what I wanted. Can you tell me what to do? And it's now able to go understand that and come back and give me like three or four reasons. I can look at it and say, oh, it's probably not this, it's probably not this, and then generates a new prompt. I got this prompt, paste it back, and keep doing this process again and again. Hopefully you all get an idea of how this works and how vibe prompting can really, enhance your agent building capabilities. Thank you.